So I made a TikTok a few days ago talking about how in the dating scene, men don't really initiate anymore. And then for some reason, the algorithm hit like the lonely male demographic. And I'm getting flooded with messages in my inbox about like wanting to date me. And that's not what I meant. I meant it for the girls so that we can talk about it. So please stop. Thank you so much.
Men shouldn't be watching porn while in a relationship. Thank you. Thank you. And women shouldn't be making porn in a relationship. What?
I got a question for the men. Why y'all not asking females on dates no more? I be seeing guys, I know they're attracted to me, but they will not ask for my number, not ask me on a date. Like, for example, I was passing through Target parking lot, and I seen a guy seen me, and I waved at him, and he waved at me back. But he didn't ask for my number. Was he just being polite? But y'all men ain't polite. Y'all don't be polite. To that man at Target, hit my inbox.
Tell Daddy I love him so much. If one of his butt cheeks fell off, I would share one of my butt cheeks with him if he needed me to.
Okay. Dad said to tell you that he was just thinking about to get an extra butt cheek.
That's perfect.
This is one of my favorite things that I've ever seen on the internet. It is so genuinely, clearly love. And the fact that they involve their 4-year-old going back and forth and all the giggles that it's creating is priceless. I really hope that this becomes such a core memory for that 4-year-old. And even if not, I bet you there's going to be so many of these throughout her life. Kudos to mom and dad.
Did you know that in the last decade, the amount of involuntarily celibate and single men has increased by 253%? There are many reasons for this trend. Lower testosterone levels, easier access to porn, and of course, OnlyFans models. But that's not the full story. The ugly truth is that the modern woman is making more money now and she's no longer interested in the average man. I know I'll get flack for saying this, and it's not good for women either, but it's the world that we live in. Women are out-learning and out-earning men at historically high levels, and it's created what some statisticians refer to as the of the average male. As a man, knowing this, you can either settle for where you are if you're content, or raise what I call your mating value score if you're not. This is what I help my clients do, and it's how they go from 5s to 9s and increase the quality and quantity of women they date. If you're curious about your mating value score and how to raise it, read the caption.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
No, because why are the men not even strong anymore? So I was at the gym and I go to the area where all the weights are, which is usually very male dominated area. It's like right after work, so it's very crowded at the gym. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go get a couple sets in. So I go over there and tell me why all of the 5-pound weights and all of the 10-pound weights are gone. And the only people over there are men. So I go up to the weights and I look and I see that all the 5 and the 10 pounds are gone. And I just turn around. I look at the weights, I turn around, and I do a double take to see if any of them notice what I'm looking at. And I literally lock eyes with a guy who has 5 pounds. He's curling 5 pounds. I'm sorry if this is judgmental, but I'm so sorry. I can curl more than 5-pound weights. Like, be so for real. Okay, maybe he was one of the people that got there late and he didn't get weights that were the right. But all the 15s and the 20s were there. So I literally like lock eyes with some of them and I grab a 25-pound weight and I just grab 2 of them and I'm just like, I guess I'm gonna have to lift heavy. And I start lifting the 25 pounds because that's all there is. And when I tell you, like so fast, like 3 or 4 guys go and like put their weights back and leave. I'm like, yes, because what do you mean I can lift more than you? Why are you lifting 5 and 10-pound weights? Like, be so for real. Why are the men not even strong anymore? What is going on?
One of the biggest problems with men today is you can't walk away. You better learn how to walk away and cut a chick off. Because if you don't, you're going to be the fool. You're going to be the one that's left a dried up husk, because when she's done what you believe, she'll walk away. But here's the thing. Guys, when you learn to walk away from a woman, you're in a position of power. Ladies, many of you don't walk away. Many of y'all just check out. Y'all ghost. Y'all leave. And I'm going to tell you right now, look at the way a woman ends her relationships. If she's the kind of woman who flakes, dips out, ghosts, leaves, things. You need to know if you're dealing with a woman who can handle conflict. Why is this important? Because a woman who can't handle conflict, they run. It's either you first or relationships first. You cannot serve two masters. If it's my truth, my life, my field, my this, my that, cool, over there.
Why is the entire red pill more focused on shaming men and women back into traditional roles versus liberating men from being traditional?
Why do they want to do that? That's a great question. I would say that
because men want women to do all the stuff that we used to do a long time ago, and they need to do the stuff that they used to do a long time ago.
But are women willing to do the things that they used to do a long time ago?
Not a lot of these, no.
So then why should men be held to a traditional standard?
I guess they should not. Let me go back. They shouldn't.
I would say I believe it's because it's most beneficial for them to have us in those roles as opposed to having us, in the words of being liberated. I'd say that that's not what they want. So they want to keep us in a traditional role, feeling shame, things of that nature.
Well, traditional roles are probably better for men and women because it seems like women have fallen apart. They try to be the men and it's not working out.
Mental health matters for everyone, not just during certain times of the year or during certain months in which mental health awareness is brought to the forefront, but it's important for every single person, regardless of their gender, every single day of the year. So, just a gentle reminder, if you are not feeling like yourself, if you are not doing well, if you're in a bad place, please reach out to someone. Talk to a medical professional. There are so many resources that are available for those who are struggling every day with their mental health. Please do not be the person that suffers in silence because they are under the mistaken idea that that would be a show of weakness to ask for help. Because at the end of the day, it takes a truly strong person to acknowledge when they're not doing well and to know when to ask for help.
Yeah, I was in a grocery store and I had like a bunch of stuff in my hands. And this guy saw me and he was like, "Oh my God, girl, you need a cart. Like, can we hold all this stuff, da-da-da?" I'm like, "No, I'm fine. I'm about to check out. Like, don't even worry about it." And so I like not paying attention and he comes up to me with like a box, like I guess that he had cleared out. And he was like, "Oh no, babe, let me take the stuff out of your hands or whatever." And I was like, "Huh?" And he was like, "Yeah, because I'm gonna always be the solution to your problem." And it made me pause because, not gonna lie, I feel like having a mouthpiece and like people actually having some sort of mouth, like it's like people don't be like spitting game for real. So I was like, kind of cheesy, but not bad. You might have ate. And actually it did help because I really did have a lot of stuff in my hands, not gonna lie. So thank you. Still didn't give him the number though. Like it made me pause, but it wasn't. Nah.
You can the feminism right out of her.
Really, it's always interesting to see someone with such delusions of grandeur that they believe that them performing one specific act would be enough to change a woman's mind in regards to them believing that men and women are equal, have equal rights, and should be treated as equals. My goodness.
Doesn't matter how long she's been feminist, how long she's been vegan, how long she's been lesbian even. Every woman has that factory reset button.
Well, wasn't that just something? I mean, it's not every day, after all, that we not only get to see such a demonstration of hubris, but also a lack of education coupled with blatant misogyny. That someone could actually believe that they are so good at one particular thing that could actually change the minds of women when it comes to their fundamental beliefs, in addition to the orientation that some women happen to be born with. Where does a person find that much hubris? It's actually quite astonishing, really.
I am obviously real late to the natural hair conversation because I'm not on natural hair TikTok. I'm on Lock Talk, and we don't be having these back and forths over there. But this is so weird. Standing 10 toes down on being a wig warrior is a terrible take. It always has been. It always will be. At least most women will try and play like, oh, I just do it to protect my natural hair because I actually like my natural hair. But just saying I don't like it and I just like showing up in the world as a with straight hair, even though I'm not a with straight hair, that says that you don't like showing up as yourself. You don't like yourself. There's no way around that. And even if you think you look good with your natural hair, this statement is saying that you look better with the wig on. You feel better about yourself with the wig on. That sucks. Like, y'all hate yourselves so bad. And I understand there is $1 billion industry behind us hating ourselves, but feeding into it on purpose is a choice that only a woman who hates herself would make, really.
So I want to be a wife, but I don't want no man with kids, even though I got kids.
What? That's crazy.
I know. But I don't have...
Why don't you want a man with kids? And do you have primary custody? Do you have primary custody?
Do I have primary custody? Yes, I do. It's not the kids. I'm fine with kids. I don't like the baby mama drama.
How many fathers do you have?
One.
Where is he?
Incarcerated.
For the rest of his life?
Not for the rest of his life, no. But he's married.
Doesn't matter. Still could be drama.
You think so? I don't think so. I've never had...
He's alive. He's alive.
But I've never had with him.
But okay, but he's alive.
Correct.
So you don't want a man with kids because you don't want to deal with possible drama, but you want a man of high value men to deal with a woman with kids from a man who's in jail.
I know. Yep. That's unlogical, huh?
Anytime you ever hear about family annihilators, for those of you who don't know what that is, that's men who just come home one day and their wife and kids. When they get to the bottom of why, a lot of them are like, well, I lost my job or something happened and they couldn't provide anymore. And they felt like such a failure as a man. According to the patriarchy, they are a failure because you, as the patriarchy says you have to be a provider.
Patriarchy hurts men.
Yeah, this is exactly how it hurts men.
It's the patriarchy that's unleashing all these demons on men.
Absolutely. Literally every single demon goes back to the patriarchy. When we talk about how the patriarchy hurts women, but it also hurts men, this is how. Because they're setting men up to have all these unrealistic expectations and standards. And I say unrealistic because it's like every man is not going to be a top dog. There's always going to be some people in the middle and there's always going to be a bunch of them at the bottom. They're all clamoring for the same spot that they'll never get. And so it's just going to be chaos because of that. You're going to lose a lot of men along the way. A lot of men are going to go to prison. A lot of men are going to just turn their anger towards women. A lot of men are going to be incels and not talk to anybody. I mean, because of all that chaos.
The streets are talking, bro. The streets are talking. And I don't necessarily mean like the literal streets, but I mean everywhere. You look in the comments, you look in group chats, you're looking at podcasts, you're looking at the barbershop, just quite literally anywhere that men congregate. You're having these conversations, and when you have a lot of people that are saying the same thing, you got to stop and ask, what's really going on? What's happening? When you have a lot of men that you try to say, oh, these are just bitter dudes. No, you have a good amount of men saying, wait a minute, modern women are acting crazy. You noticing that too? Yeah, man, no, we're not gonna be doing that. We're not gonna be doing that. And then you get mad because a man ain't with it. That's your fault. That's your problem.
Fun fact, if you meet a man who has had a wife, had a serious girlfriend, or had a kid with a woman, and that woman doesn't want him anymore, beware.
Beware of what?
Women don't come up off of good men. They just don't. They don't just accept, oh, we broke up. That's okay. No. Women will literally do their big one for a good man.
When? When are they doing big ones for good men? I've seen so many videos of women saying how much they had the men they wanted. He was good to her. He was doing every single thing she wanted him to do, but she just couldn't stay with him. So what the are you talking about? These women are leaving men for nothing. So what makes you think that because she's no longer with him, it's his fault? It literally can be a woman's fault. These women don't want these men. These women want bank accounts. These women want walk-in ATMs. Everything y'all blame men for, as if women can't do no wrong.
I'm gonna make myself crystal clear for you, okay? As a Christian, I do not support Islam. As a Christian, I do not support Judaism. I'm going to continue to say Christ is king, even if that means the people who believe Jesus is burning in a pile of his own feces don't like it. I'm going to continue to point out the hundreds of thousands of people, Christians, who are being slaughtered in Nigeria and Sudan. Me pointing out that Israel bombed a Catholic church in Gaza does not take away the fact that I've also pointed out that Islamists are Christians in Africa, because both are true. Christianity does not need to side with Judaism. Christianity does not need to side with Islam. And I, as an American, have every right in my country and in my life to criticize my government, the government of Israel, and the government of any other country I so choose. I, as a Christian, as an American, can say whatever the I want to whoever the I want about whoever the I want, and you can either take it and swallow it or choke.
Modern women today give themselves the benefit of the doubt too often in relationships. That is why you're walking into relationships entitled, privileged, and arrogant. Because you honestly expect someone to give you the benefit of the doubt when you are hypercritical of men. Many of you ladies sit around and can't wait till a dude does something wrong so you can say, see, there it is. But let you do something wrong, don't want to talk about it. Let a man forget to call you or don't holler back at you on a certain time. Then all of a sudden it's like, here come the 50 questions. But let you don't do something, let you miss something. Then all of a sudden, I don't want to talk about it. You're making me feel bad. How is it that you ladies can up? And then the man brings it to your attention and wants to talk about how you screwed up. You know you screwed up, but then he's responsible for how you feel about you screwing up. Get the out. No, ladies, that works with most men. But over here, high value men get the benefit of the doubt.
Guys are interesting. I guess like a week ago, my friend's boyfriend works with this guy and was like, hey, are you single? Great, you are. Here's my girlfriend's friend's number. She's single. I think you guys would be a good match. Da da da. He gives him my number. He finds out that I might be going out of town, and then I'm not going out of town, and so I don't know if it got relayed to him. But I was like, you know what? Just give me his number. And so I text him last night like, hey, it's April. The girl Alan warned you about. And then nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing for the last 2 days. Y'all are interesting. Like literally had it handed to you on a platter, and then the girl came up and was hand feeding you. She was hand feeding you, and you still didn't go for it. Interesting. You guys are very interesting.
Husbands usually carry their mental load quietly. They don't always open up. They don't always break down. They just stay strong. When they walk into their home where their wife is overwhelmed, stretched thin, carrying a lot already, they make a decision. They don't add their stress to hers. They push their own stuff down and stay steady. And yes, that is often while they are helping, while they are parenting, working, fixing, showing up in real ways. But emotionally, they go quiet. Not because they don't need support, but because they don't want to be another weight that their wife has to carry. So they become the strong one, the calm one, the steady one. But here's the part we forget. If he's always being strong when his wife is overwhelmed, who does he get to be soft with? Marriage is not just about getting through the day. It's about being a safe place for each other. Sometimes loving your husband looks like this. Not needing him to be okay, but making room for him not to be. Everyone's chasing the spark, but that won't pay bills, raise kids, or stick around when life gets hard. What does matter how someone handles stress, how they act when they are angry, how they treat people who can't do anything for them. The real version of a partner shows up in the boring, everyday moments, the quiet, the chaos, the hard stuff. That's who you are building a life with, way more than the one that is planning cute date nights. And don't get me wrong, romance is great, but it's not what gets you through sleepless nights, heavy conversations, or figuring life out as a team. Character will, maturity will, integrity will. Choose someone who respects your voice, makes space for your growth, and challenges you to be better without tearing you down. Because it's not just about who gives you butterflies. It's about who's steady when things are not. And that choice, it shapes everything.
We are losing men to peace. We are losing men to ourselves. Men no longer prioritize women. The man at peace is an unbuyable man. Some women are still thinking that men are in that scenario of chasing after, calling, despairing for the lack of a woman, for her absence, when in reality, today's man, he is increasingly valued. He understood that a woman is not the center of his life, that a woman is not the most important thing in the world, and it is perfectly possible to live without one. Today's high-value man, he seeks to make money. He seeks to do business. He seeks to grow, to develop himself. He removed women from his focus. Today's man, he realized that his peace is worth more. There is no relationship that can buy his peace. Today's man, he is unbuyable. He is non-negotiable. The peace he chose for his life has become non-negotiable. If you are a woman and are waiting for a man to venerate you, a man to idolize you, a man to dote on you, I'm very sorry, but perhaps that won't happen, because the more time passes, the more we have seen that today's generation of men is not like the generation of old. And it is we women who have been losing high-value men, serious men, hardworking men, dedicated men.
Seriously, you're still out here with this car? You work all day and then come home and ignore everything else for this stupid thing. We don't have money for anything I want, but you've got time for this every single day.
This is why I stay in the garage. I
You
need
should call
money.
it here. I need things.
things.
You're out here wasting time again.
Don't
Done with
get
it. Get out here. I better not leave. I'm talking to you.
I have two things to say about this one. Number one, I think that any of you single guys will appreciate the reminder that you would rather be single and living a peaceful life rather than being in the wrong relationship. The second thing that I'll say is that obviously there's always two sides of the story, right? Maybe he is spending too much time in the garage. But ladies, this is not the way to handle it, because this is the sort of attitude that will just push him away. He will want to spend more time in that garage versus looking within yourself, ladies, to figure out what is going on. Is it that he's away too much and that you actually miss him? And in that case, you should come at him with a very loving, I miss you sort of nature. Or is it not that you actually want to be around him more? It's just that you want him to do particular things for you. Therefore, you have these expectations that maybe you need to look at. Maybe they're fair and you should sit down and come to an agreement, or maybe they're not fair and they're just something that you have to change your mindset over.
You're not even thinking about what it's like to be a man then, because I'm a man. I have to work for a living.
Can I talk to you about being a man?
Of course.
Why are you like this?
I was born that way.
What would you do if you were a woman for a day?
I was born a man, so I would never think about what it would be like if I was a woman.
So maybe you should think about it right now.
Would I want to be in a woman's body? Not at all. And so...
But you can't even just pretend, imagine
No,
that...
no, there's no pretend imagining. This is reality. This is planet Earth. I can tell that you're like a liberal, for sure. Just in the way that you speak.
Oh, really?
What gives it away?
Yeah.
That you think that somebody should be born a woman and decide that they want to attach a to their
I never
body.
said
That's okay.
that. I just was saying, imagine you're a woman for one day.
And I said, why would I want to do that?
It's a fun game. It's a fun thought exercise.
So imagine you were a male for a day.
Yeah, I do all the time.
Why though?
Because it's fun to think about.
The time to just think about fun thoughts. You're not even thinking about what it's like to be a man then, because I'm a man. I have to work for a living to provide for myself and my family.
You don't have time to think of fun things because you're too busy working?
If I have time to think about fairy tale thoughts of what it would be like if I woke up and was a woman, yeah, that's in a fairy tale La La Land.
Oh, what do you do for work? That's so hard.
I run a business.
Oh.
I'm an entrepreneur that runs my own business.
Okay. Wow.
What do you do?
I am an entrepreneur that runs my own business.
What, content creation? That's so funny. Have a good time.
What the
If you are a woman who proposes to her boyfriend, you are part of the problem.
Okay, what is the problem?
You are contributing, perpetuating, and validating the men these days that want princess treatment.
Princess treatment? Oh goodness, another person using buzzwords that they don't know exactly what they mean. But no, men wanting to be appreciated and valued in a relationship is not princess treatment. That's actually part of equality.
I will even take this a step further and say if you are so tired of waiting to be proposed to that you feel like you have to, I think you should get rid of your boyfriend.
Maybe. Instead of calling those guys names, maybe a person could take a moment to realize the inner strength that those women possess to step outside of the gender norm box when they realized they wanted to get married, and so they just decided to propose. It's really not that difficult to understand.
Because your boyfriend obviously does not want to be your husband. I know that's harsh. I know that's even slightly mean. Sometimes what we don't want to hear is what we exactly need to hear.
Indeed. Like how it's rather infantile behavior to try to shame women for actually taking steps forward to do something that might make them happy in life. Yeah, we should probably stop doing that.
Stop proposing to men. Now!
Ironically, this just seems to be another case of someone only supporting gender roles when it suits their purpose.
I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this, but if a woman that is claimed to be a male activist starts an OnlyFans, just know that she used you and she manipulated you to get more followers for her OnlyFans. And she more than likely only was a male advocate for said OnlyFans. She is the true definition of a pick-me. Not only that is how can you claim to respect men and respect your husband, but you're on OnlyFans. And even if you say that your husband allows it and he's cool with it, why would you want to be on OnlyFans anyway? And why do you have to devalue yourself, devalue your husband, and devalue your relationship? And if it's a financial issue, then you can sure as hell find other side hustles rather than being on OnlyFans. Nothing pisses me off more than these fake advocates that claim to be for male advocacy, but they're only doing it to start an OnlyFans. It invalidates the women on this platform like myself that are not going to need to be naked for male attention, and we actually care about men's rights. And y'all are pathetic if you fall for these women that do that because they're not real advocates. They don't have your back. They're only thinking about themselves and their paycheck, and they're using your male loneliness as an excuse to start their OnlyFans. Be smarter, don't be naive, and stop following people like this. Okay, bye.
Why I will no longer be entertaining the male human species.
You got a whole book.
Never keeping promises. 2, never meaning what they say. 3, only being nice to people because they want something. 4, only being nice to women they find attractive. 5, not taking no for an answer. 6, bringing up immediately. 7, pressuring for on the first date. 8, lack of effort. 9, asking me to come over as the first date. 10, poor hygiene. 11, lack of emotional intelligence. 12, lack of financial intelligence. 13, extremely self-centered. 14, extremely misogynistic. 15, going weeks on end with no contact.
Majority of the things that she's talking about, women do them too. They do them more, if I'm being honest. They treat men like garbage. They don't want to talk to guys they don't find attractive. They only want them for their money. They ignore them all the time. Like all these things. They don't have emotional intelligence. Like what the? You're naming stuff that women do all the times too. So men should also not deal with the female species. Plus, why are you on here telling us that? Let alone write a whole page of why you don't want to deal with them. If you don't like them, then just don't deal with them. You don't need to tell us why you're not dealing with them because we don't give a fuck. And as I said before, women are the same way. So there's no reason for you to be on here telling us about how terrible men are when y'all yourselves are terrible.
So you really decided to take me out on a date to Subway?
Yes.
Do you not have money for something nicer? I thought we were gonna go do something else, not this.
I do have money. I just don't have high faith in you.
Why would you say that?
I feel like you're in it for the money and not for me.
Of course I'm in it for the money.
See, that's why I brought you to Subway.
Roma, why aren't men chasing and dating women anymore? I'm sorry. Do we need a better visual representation as to why men have given up? A lot of times I've seen this video on the internet and women are always hyping her up in the comments. Like, yeah, well, he's just obviously low value if he's taking you to Subway. Why the would he take you somewhere expensive? And the sad fact is that guy sounds like a really nice guy. He sounds really sweet. He sounds like he'd be an A1 boyfriend, and here he is, unfortunately, having to waste his time with an ungrateful woman who thinks it's acceptable to pull out her camera to play victim. No, your victim card has been revoked. You're an insufferable woman. You deserve to get no, and I hope you stay single. Why the hell would men put their asses out on the line? Like, you guys are expecting men from the 1950s that are courting women and bringing flowers. Meanwhile, y'all are acting like disrespectful, insufferable 2025 women, and you cannot convince me I'm wrong. If you want a better man, you have to be a better woman, and that is something that a lot of women are not willing to do. Thank you.
No one talks about divorcing a good guy. I've been divorced twice, both of which were my decision, and neither one of them were me or cheating on me. That doesn't mean there wasn't a pile of other reasons as to why we couldn't maintain a healthy relationship. People get divorced for all kinds of reasons. Maybe you don't agree on how to parent your kids. Maybe you suck at communicating and argue all the time. Maybe you don't agree on money and you have financial issues. Maybe there's no intimacy and you feel like you're living with a roommate. Those are all valid reasons to not want to stay in a relationship. And if that's you, you deserve to be happy. And I'm proud of you for taking responsibility for your happiness.
The reason why men seek loyalty more than anything else in a relationship is because we live in an age where women will initiate divorce with a good guy that has sacrificed for her and for his family. She will even admit that he is such a good guy, but that she's just not happy. She's bored. She's in a midlife crisis. Her hormones are out of whack. But what's really messed up is that she just wants to get rid of the guy that she views is in her way of getting that excitement that she wants. But the difference is that a good woman will continue to value the good virtues of a good man, even through her own unhappiness, her own boredom, her midlife crisis, and her hormonal changes. She will not make a permanent decision based on temporary feelings. And that is exactly what a good man needs.
Helping, serving, and supporting your husband is not the same thing as mothering him. Somewhere along the way, we started telling women that any sort of sacrifice equals oppression, and any act of care means you are being used. That is not empowerment. That is teaching women to keep score. Marriage is not a parent-child dynamic. But it also isn't two roommates who refuse to inconvenience themselves for each other. When a woman cooks for her husband, supports his work, manages the home, or pours into her family, that does not mean she is automatically being reduced to a servant. It means she is choosing love through action, just like men do in different ways. Strong marriages are built on mutual sacrifice, not rigid independence. The truth is, a lot of women are now resentful because they have been taught supporting their husband makes them weak, instead of recognizing it as strength, teamwork, and investment into the life they are building together. If you don't want to care for anyone, that's fine. But stop labeling devotion, service, or partnership as mothering, just because it requires effort. Marriages work best when both people stop asking, "Is this my duty?" and start asking, "How can I show up for the person I chose?" That's not control, that's commitment.
And there was a woman, I think on the Alex Clark show, and she was kind of talking about men not performing as well on college campuses. And so the men that do, when they perform well, they are their pick of the litter. This is kind of the issue, right? Where, and one of the comments on there was essentially saying, basically, you have men that are being held to a higher standard, right? higher level of responsibility. And the low performing men are mad about this. And the high performing men really don't care because they're getting all of the that they want. And I would look at a comment like that and say that maybe you don't understand and maybe you're misguided, because what's going to happen is we're going to deem, and what is happening right now is we're deeming these men as low performing. But then after we get pumped and dumped and used up by the high performing man, and that man goes on to do whatever he wants to do, he writes a book about all of his exploits and all of the women that he's conquered, and all of the women that he's conquered and left in the way are mad about it because he didn't settle down. I'm tired of the patriarchy and this and this. Now they're going to want to come back around and double back around and spin the block again. And hey, let's check on the low performing man. Let's see how he's doing. And then 5 or 10 years later, that low performing man is actually doing pretty great. And so now, after you've been ran through by the high performing man, now you want to go back to the low performing man. It's funny how that